and he had made this statement. He said, "You have made me obnoxious among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites." So, like I said, Judah wasn't perfect, and he did share in the sins of his brother. But Judah also did some other things that weren't very nice. Okay? Judah, just like all his other brothers, they hated Jacob. I'm sorry, they hated Joseph. They hated Joseph. And they wanted to kill Joseph. Okay? But Judah, he stepped in and he convinced his brothers that instead of murdering Joseph, it would be better to sell him to the Ishmaelites. So that's what they did. They sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver. Judah's main concern was to save Joseph's life. He didn't realize that at that time that he was helping to preserve a remnant. Right. But apparently he had a good heart, and he didn't want to, take it a step further. So Judah, just like all the others, he was guilty of a grave sin. And we can read about this in Genesis, the 42nd chapter, verse 21. Would someone like to read and share that with us? The 42nd chapter, verse 21. 42:20. Yes.
One verse. Then they said to one another, "We are truly guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the anguish of his soul when he pleaded with us, and we would not hear. Therefore, this distress has come upon us."
Thank you. So Judah, he had a guilty conscience, just like his brothers, because of what they had did to Joseph. And you know that under the Mosaic law, what they did to Joseph, they would have gotten the death penalty. And we can read about that in Exodus, the 21st chapter, verse 16. Would someone like to share that with us? Exodus 21:16.
And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall truly be put to death.
Okay, so they did kidnap Joseph, didn't they? Okay, so if they were found, and they did what? They didn't only kidnap him, they also did what?
They sold him.
Right, they sold him. So, like the scripture says, if they were found guilty, they were surely was to be put to death. Now let's talk a little bit about Judah's family. Okay, Judah married the daughter of a Canaanite named Shula. And Shula had 3 sons for Judah: Onan, and Shelah. Judah selected Tamar for his firstborn, But on account of his badness, was executed by God. You know, that kind of puts a little fear in you, don't it?
Yes.
Right, is somebody to be executed by God? So, if God don't like you, I mean, that's kind of tough, isn't it? Right. You don't have a chance if God don't like you. Okay? And then his second son was Onan. And he told Onan, he said, well, since is deceased,